Hello YouTuber, welcome back to Pierre Cooks at Home channel. Today we're just going to do a recipe I've seen recently and I found very easy to make. So let's get cracking. It's called potato mille feuille, so it's very thin layers of potato using the mandolin that actually you can make to have a very consistent slicing here and definite thickness. So what do you start by taking 1.5 kilo of potato. Took Mary Piper on this recipe. And once you've done this, you just peel them and you are using a mandolin. You're going to slice them as thin as possible. Then you're just going to prepare 100 grams of duck fat. I could have put a bit more, but I think that was plenty for the recipe. You melt the duck fat and you're going to add the duck fat to the sliced potato. This is time now to get your hands dirty. You can use gloves for your convenience. If you don't have any gloves, I just went straight with my clean hands I just washed before. And you just toss. You toss to make sure that every single slice of potato is coated. This is going to give the structure and the binding when it comes to the molding of the terrine later on. So just do it really thoroughly. You line up a tin. Once it's done, prepare a touch of corn flour, and we're going to just do a layer of sliced potato coated with duck fat and dusting corn flour. And then we're just going to repeat again until you reach the top of the terrine. So let's get cracking. It's a bit of a mind game. You just have to be very patient, very focused on your task. Try not to have gaps between your potato slices. It's going to make the finished result even more impressive for you and your guests. So let's just speed up a little bit to make sure we reach the top of the terrine to understand what will be the next steps. Once it's reached the top of the terrine, you're just going to place a small parchment baking paper on top and then press nicely with another terrine. I've been lucky enough to have the same size terrine. I find it very convenient, but you can use another terrine as well. Or anyway, you can actually keep this terrine of layered potato pressed down. In addition to this, to keep some weight before going into the oven, we're just going to add a bit of ceramic bits. Can be pulses, so any beans would do as well, lentil or just white beans. And then I've added a lid made of cast iron from the Dutch oven to really keep the potatoes really pressed. So the combination of cornstarch and duck fat will actually make the potatoes really sticking together. This is after 2 hours in the oven and 1 night in the fridge. You're just going to see the result here. So we're just going to take out the terrine from the fridge, put it upside down and remove the baking paper. It's quite fatty because it's been really soaking in duck fat. So you might get your hands slightly wet with duck fat. You're using a serrated knife and you're going to cut the edges of the terrine. But first, because you want to be prepared, you're taking a small sheet pan or any dish, a layer of baking paper that you just fold to the size, and you can start slicing. That's going to be your container when you can keep all your terrine slices or chips that you can do as well. So it's a very versatile recipe that works very well for any meat. Once you've done this, you can see here a picture of all the layers that have been really neatly prepared. And you start slicing. So the slices can be really to your convenience. It is about 1.5 centimeters as recommended, up 2 centimeters. You can keep them whole or you can slice them in half again, and that's going to make like fat chips, as you can see here. And this is how it looks, ready to go in the fridge before actually being served. Once you're ready to serve them, just melt a touch of butter, a bit of oil so the butter doesn't burn, and you start frying them and flipping them until golden, and you will see this dark brown color. So you technically have this very, very crispy outside and very melted inside. And this is how it can be eventually presented on a plate. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.